think we need to have a bit of a look at this.
Okay, so this is what we're up against today. Now I can see tracks where someone's gone through the middle. So this bit here is going to be a little bit challenging. And that bit there. If we go up on this lip, there's a risk that we could fall in. And once we get to here, we've got to go in anyway. So alright. I managed to find another way through. Now it's just a matter of showing James where it is. Unfortunately, tracks this small can be very easily missed, especially when you've only got one eye.
Reached the point for a skull drag?
Well, I feel as if I'm making progress, but I think you should be getting ready for that.
Second gear low, so when?
Now.
This was seriously tight. I joked about the fact that you couldn't fit a $10 bill between the vehicle and the trees, but seriously, this is seriously tight. Yeah, it's quite a battle to get through it. So I'm trying to show you that. So the problem we're facing is that this tree is going to be a problem. So I'm now going to have to cut that. I don't like doing that, but I'm going to have to do that. It won't kill the tree, it'll just mean a little bit of work. Oh, you bugger.
I can't see your front wheels turning. Front wheels. Hubs.
Because I'm doing this in two-wheel drive. I mean, I was doing that in two-wheel drive. And that's a bit annoying. Anyway, that's right. What it means is you probably could go straight
It's
through.
only because I took one look and didn't see your front wheels turning.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, you've got the windshield.
I've had practice with my wind, so it's all good. But yeah, you might as well just go straight through.
Well, I'll wait till you're on the other side so I can get the camera out.
Looks like you've made progress, but then you got bogged again.
No, I'm down.
Alright, well I'll come round behind you and pull you out.
You're in low range too.
Watch your mirror.
It's already in.
I was just saying watch it because I don't want to rip it off. Funny thing is, I would have borrowed money and bet on the fact that you would be skinnier than me, but it still feels tight. However you are, because I had to do a 3-pointer there.
It was close to a 5-pointer, but
Probably was, but don't forget, when I went through the first one, I was until as well.
it was about here that you went into four-wheel drive.
Grab my fish. Oh, I have to walk back 30 feet.
Sounds good.
I can't get out either, James. Just digging in worse. Alright, so I was trying to avoid getting my socks and shoes wet. Got a puddle here in the front of the car, water draining out of my door. Unfortunately, by the time the camera started up, most of the water's finished. Equipment letting me down left, right and centre. But that was my fault. I rimmed the side of a water crossing and fell into it. Nothing to do about it, it's life. Okay, still water in here. I'll have to dry it out later when I get to the plant. What you're seeing now is I'm walking around trying to find a way through these multiple chicken tracks. They're all clay and slippery. I'm actually slipping over while I'm walking through them, so there's no way a vehicle's going to go through them. The clay is very slippery, we'll get absolutely no traction. So I'm trying to find a way through. As it turns out, it takes me 2 hours to get through this chicken track, and then only a matter of minutes to pull James through. The thing about that is that in retrospect, it would have been easier for me to just go through the main track and just pull myself through with a winch. But we didn't know that. It's sometimes hard to tell how deep it is. It could be 4 foot deep or more. So we thought we were going lower, but as it happens, we got James through quite easily. So that's all we had to do, but we didn't know that. So here I am faffing around for 2 hours trying to get through what should be a straightforward and simple chicken track.
So far it was just rolling momentum.
Yeah, that's probably all it needs if it turns out. I hope your GoPro's recording.
It is.
If you suddenly go deep, I'm just going to back up, alright?
Well, I'm leaving the winch behind, so pull. I am out.
Here I am camping alone, and I have taken care of the fire. I've built my shelter, and I have obviously got the provisions I need. I brought my ferro rod, I have brought my hatchet, and a Nissan Patrol. Alright, I've got my speaker, my chair, and I've got my butler. Will that be all, my lady?
I have lots of camo, I have lots of ferro rods, and a Land Cruiser.
As you can see, we've been out hunting, and the food is all stored, prepared, smoked, and ready to last a long time. Well, okay, may not have actually smoked it, but it's all been prepared. So here we have the other shelter. Same idea. We've got all the food is stored appropriately, and we have the dry goods. And I'll just lock that in place. Dry goods are all put away. So shelter and food are taken care of. So of course there's only one thing left to do. Beer. So this is the shelter that I've built. It's taken me several months to build this, of course, but it is the shelter. And of course we all know the rules, food, fire, shelter. Well, this is the shelter. And as you can see, it's pretty comfortable. 2 beds, because we're almost alone. I'm not actually alone, almost alone. And but we're comfortable. Now traditionally I use whatever's close to hand, but today I have a high-tech depth gauge. And yes, the water's cold. So far so good. But it is cold.
In context, it's 7:45 in the morning.
Sand base instead of a clay base. I think we've got to cut.
No problem, James. I'll just come straight through.
Fast flowing river. Yeah, you're straight now. No, it's not as bad as it looked. Having said that though, it is deep, but like you said, it's rocky, so we got traction. You might think it's completely crazy going through such deep water crossings, and you'd be absolutely right. Truth is that it would destroy many cars. For example, the Ford Ranger boasts that it can go into 800 mils of water. The reality is you can only go as high as your diffs, because if your diff breathers go underwater, your diff oil turns into salad dressing, and that'll destroy your diff. The 800 mils is determined by the alternator. If your alternator goes underwater, that's the end of it. You'll be driving the rest of the journey on just the battery and eventually run out of power. It happened to James. He went into water that was barely 600 mils deep, and it splashed up onto his alternator, and he had to go back home on the truck. Yeah, it's not very nice. That water was 1.3 meters deep. Now that means that my fuel tanks have gone underwater, and so I've actually extended my fuel breathers. They're just coming up to the height of the roof. It's not very pretty. I'll work out a way to do that properly another day, but just to get through these water crossings, that's what I've done for now. James has got he's modified his breathers to extend like the Nissan Patrols, where they come up just under the bonnet. So you know, we are fitted out to go through these sort of water crossings, but you know, if you do that in a normal car, I mean, like if you get water in your starter motor, that's the end of it. Nissan Patrol starter motors, they're like $1,400 for a starter motor, so they're expensive, but they're designed to go underwater. Whereas a Ford starter motor that you can buy for $400, well, it's not going to go underwater. Anyway, if you've just tuned in, the story is that we got a flat tyre going through the big water crossing yesterday, the one that took 2 hours. So when I pulled James through the water, I had a flat tyre. But I made do by putting some air in it, and we kept going. Today we've got to come to the point where we say, okay, it's time to change the tyre. Can't ignore it forever. Let's just hope it's a good tyre, because like I say, we've never even taken this cover off. Don't even know what it's like underneath. If I can read the writing through the cover, it's the right type of tyre.
And it's got air in it.
Thankfully, because that was my next worry. But Landy, I heard put these covers on. What a nuisance. It's like having to change a tyre on the rim.
Would you like a knife?
I'm thinking of it, because honestly, this cover's not going back on. Why would you bother? And look, I'm sure I've gone all the way around.
Almost.
Oh boy. Oh, seriously. How did they even get it on? I think we'll go with the knife option. Maybe I'll ask probably way
In the driver's door.
Well, there's some sort of bungee cord. I'll keep the cord. I definitely don't want the cover. Oh boy. Working my way toward the tyre that I've got to replace, but what a pain.
Yeah, this is a situation where I can understand littering in the bush.
Yeah. Oh boy. There we go. Never to be seen again. Not by this little black duck. Now, once before, I pulled up on the side of the road. I had a tyre that I'd shredded, and when I went to put the spare on, it turned out the spare was from a completely different vehicle. So you can understand my concern about the wheel being the right wheel. Oh boy. Now I've gone too far. Oh, I'm wearing fish. Isn't that a good look? Well, that's pretty serious.
Well, this isn't too bad, and I haven't put your mother's sling on, so I'm hoping that that's going to stay reasonable.
Alright, so we put the snap strap on in case I had to pull him out, but he got through it quite okay. Now, two things. I've got shit tyres, and he's quite a bit taller than me by a few inches, so...
Ready? Yep.
This is our campsite. It's Wellington Dam. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. As a campsite goes, it's marvellous. There is another camper right over the other side there, but otherwise we've got the place to ourselves. And you can see, surrounded by forest. And here's our campsite here. So this is a result of our water crossings. I don't know why, but the headlights seem to have absorbed water. They're supposed to be sealed. Oh no, maybe they're not sealed. Anyway, whatever. It makes no sense. If the water can't come out, then the water shouldn't have got in the first place. So anyway, definitely got a problem there. Still, if we run out of water, we've got some emergency water supply. It's probably full of microbes, but anyway. So there you go. That's what happens when you do water crossings. That means that probably my winch control is probably full of water as well. Oh well. So this is new. That's James walking off there to go and do some photography. He's not been able to do that previously because because of the MS he loses his balance so easily, but he's on new steroids now and he's allowing him to move around much more freely. There's Mark. He's prepared breakfast. And of course here's Marina sitting there eating her breakfast. Did you enjoy it? That's good. So yeah, okay. So this is our campsite. Fire's not doing too well. We're just using honky nuts to make some coffee. And there's Mark's. So, and there's our camp up there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's right in the forest, and we've got here lovely clear water. If I bother to bring the canoe with me, I'll put it in the water. I'll do it your way, James. Yes, we're going to need all the traction we can get tomorrow. If it rains overnight, this might even be slipperier.
Yeah. See where you
don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to be in that rut. If you can get up onto the ridge, that'll really get nice traction.
It is so slippery.
Oh yes. Oh yes, without a doubt. But even that puddle, so I was in two-wheel drive, not that one, the very first one where we started out.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm still driving like I'm in a Subi and going one wheel up on the bank.
as one would.
Yeah.
And here we are doing some maintenance on the car. We're changing the fluid in the headlights. I mean the spotlights.
Changing the fluids, yes. Look at that. That's a little ballast thing, so that must be...
It's in the light fitting. It's the bulb.
Yeah, well that explains how it gets in, because it's coming through the back.
Yeah. That's blue tack or something.
But look, camera, you can see here we've got a ballast box and a controller module for a HID headlight. So that means these lights are probably quite good if we ever get them fired up. We don't do much travelling at night. So
Well, turn them on now and that'll dry out this.
there's one minor problem.
What's that?
They don't work.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
I wonder what they don't work. They didn't have enough blinker fluid.
Yeah. Well, I thought they had too much. No anchor point for that. Okay, great. That feels quite solid, like, you know, like it says it's metal. High quality.
Work out. Is it going to line up?
There's line up. Look. This is James after a tiring day of, I can't even say it's been all that severe forward driving. What have you been doing, James, that's been so tiring that you have to fall asleep at the wheel?
Should we put a blanket over it?
The funny thing is, his mother, who's like 75 years old and is...
That's more stamina.
Yeah, how do you explain that? James. 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 No, he's gone.
I'll leave him alone.
Believe me, if you were to drive this, it feels really, really steep, especially when you're going down. Yeah. Anyway, Marina's normal handheld camera is out of action at the moment because the charging port has torn off the camera. So what we have to do is we have to use another camera to charge it up, which is ridiculous, but that's what we have to do. Anyway, it's not by any means outstanding, but it'll do. You know the term, any port in a storm, well, any camp will do. Because let's face it, we can camp anywhere, quite literally. So we're currently cooking tea, and the rest is history, as they say. Certainly for Marina and I, travel all the way to Kalgoorlie and see no traffic. In this case, we're heading to Norseman on the Hyden Norseman Road. I don't know much of a road, but it's not exactly what you call bad condition. In fact, it's actually quite. There's the spot 3. There's somebody already down there. So, well, that's the spot James is thinking of is even further. Sheltered. We're currently at Breakaways, one of our favourite campsites, and we've done a bit of exploring today to see there's many other camps here. None of them are occupied, but we went way down. It goes on for miles, and so we had a good look around. Quite frankly, I think we've got the pick of the crop right here, so we're happy about that. But yeah, you've seen the footage before of the amazing breakaway rocks. They're really quite pretty, and I mean this is right here in our own campsite, so yeah, pretty amazing place to be. This morning when James went to start his engine, it turned out to be very difficult to start. We suspect its battery's getting a bit weak. The big question is, why is the battery getting weak? We've done plenty of driving, the battery should be charged up, but something's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
So we are currently heading toward Norseman, and then we're going to go down to Esperance because there's a battery place down there who can probably help us out and hopefully get it resolved. Well, here we are coming into Esperance. As you can see, the sign says we're coming to Esperance. James knows a guy here. He does his books for him, and so hopefully he'll be able to help us out. I'm just going to let James go through because he knows where we're going, so he might as well take the lead. Anyway, hopefully the guy can help us out. He apparently he's a top bloke, so looking forward to meeting him. Trading name obviously differs from actual name. James's battery and then replace it under warranty from the manufacturer, which means the battery's going to go back, even though he didn't sell James's battery, but he's going to send it back to the company, and that's pretty damn good in my opinion. He also gave us stubby holders batteries sit bed sick. Yeah, quite like it, very clever. So, good guy, John. If you're ever in Esperance and need a battery, definitely recommend him.
Private camp site. This site is an ex-main roads gravel site. It has lots of tracks and level spots back into the bush. We are approximately 200 metres back from Highway 40. It will also carry big rigs. Ours is 15.6 metres long. Sounds like he's compensating for something. Good for an overnighter or a few days.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're just going through looking at possible campsites for our next camp, and the chances of it being as isolated as this is pretty slim, but I mean, the one he just described, for example, when they allow dogs, and if they're saying generators are allowed, they're the sort of ones we don't really want. But the grain silo does sound interesting as a camp, but generators tend to ruin things. Don't inspect your work, just get on with it. We'll do the quality control afterwards. Just make grated cheese. I really like to take Marina camping because while she's camping she does things that go outside of her normal exercise program. So as you can see, she's holding onto the cheese grater with the left hand, something which most of us would take for granted. But her left hand has been immobile for the last almost 3 years. So this is a real breakthrough moment, and she feels like she's actually helping out. Even though, yes, if you're waiting for the cheese, it will take a while.
Yeah, all but James have finished. Oh God! Don't fall over, folks. It's just Glenn. What do you think of the weather today?
Well, I'm surprised at how well it turned out.
Magnificent.
It was wet this morning. I thought it was going to be a bad day. It turned out all right. Look at it, it's beautiful now, and most pleasant.
Getting a bit cold now.
Yeah, but
I'll put your feet on, Diesel.
that was a sentence that folded back on itself.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, you want to be careful. We might get bears.
Bears?
Yeah, we got Smokey.
Oh. No, that's not too bad. As far as go, I mean. I think we could have some mood lighting in a bit.
What, you can move your bedroom to the back of the view?
Oh, move his light into the bedroom.
Why my lights?
Because they're in my hand and they're not in yours. What I've just done, I let the oil cool down and I put it back in the bottle. That's not ideal, but it's better than wasting it. Well, we've had a very hard day. James has had to get through a lot of adventure and make do. We all do, we're all tired, but here's James looking, well, quite frank, you're awake, Mark's awake, and I'm awake, but James is very tired. He's clearly had far too much, and we can't really encourage him any further because he's... Yeah, notice that in his hand, that's the bottle of whiskey. If you were to try to take that from him, he would kill you. He would just defend that. Oh, now them's fighting words, but Mark is going to try to take the bottle from James, And I know very well this will not work. As soon as you try and take the bottle from him, he will defend it. Although I have to admit, that's, oh my God, that's impossible. Oh, look at that! Look at that! I've never seen that before in my life. Normally if James loses a glass, if he has a glass in his hand, he will never spill a drop of whiskey, but he must be really, really tired. Oh well. Thank you, Mark, for demonstrating that incredible technique. And,
One finger at a time.
yeah, one finger at a time. I've never seen that done before. To be truthful, I can't believe you got away with that.
But just trying to grab it, and his instant reaction is to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you try to remove the glass from his hand. It never works. But you turned it off, so kudos to you.